Hello there, YouTube. Devin here again. Had to work today, but that's alright. I'm Canadian, living in America, so all work so you all can have your day off, which is something I volunteer for every year. And in exchange, they were very nice and gave me Canada Day off, which I was super happy to have. But today, on America's birthday of all days, I've got a cool American mess kit to show you, and it's probably my favorite American mess kit. This is actually a new one that I bought to kind of keep in nice shape in comparison to an older one I have, and that would be the Mountain cookset. Now, as you all know, I really like mountain troops, and everything kind of associated with them. They're a really awesome kind of light infantry unit that's trained to fight in what a lot of historical generals and even modern generals consider to be the hardest single environment to fight in. And comes with its own unique set of challenges and its own unique set of gear, which is one of the main reasons I really like mountain troopers, because they have a lot of unique gear, and this is one of them. As you can see, this one has the original sticker on it from the 50s. This one is made by FES Co. in 1952. Most of these that you'll find are made in the 50s. This has been sitting around for, I'm sorry you guys, but forever, and I've been meaning to make a video on it, but I've just been too busy. But your guys' donations have been helping getting me more time, and I appreciate that very much. So as you guys donate more, I will get more time, and now that I'm monetized through YouTube and stuff like that, no matter how little at this point, it all goes to help. So if you do feel like donating and you like my videos and stuff, there is a link to my PayPal, which is good. I use PayPal because they don't take any money from me for sending it. So if you do a friends and stuff transaction, you can by all means go on there and send me some money, and I get every single cent of it. I don't have to pay anyone else. So it goes a long ways, and I appreciate all of you so much that have done that. But this is one of my favorite mess kits, easily my favorite American mess kit. So as you can see, this is the bottom pot here matches. It's comprised of 3 components, and it's very large, and one of the reasons I really like it is compared to a lot of mess kits, it's quiet. So other than the handles up here, which are usually going to be strapped down anyways with how it is meant to be stored, it makes no noise virtually. It's amazing in that one fact that it's super quiet, which I don't know if you guys understand this, but I see a lot of these guys who think they're cool, and they dress up in all their gear possible, and they chink around the woods, and you guys sound like a bull in a china shop, which unfortunately will get you killed in an actual combat situation. So, but this is comprised of 3 main components, and these are actually still in use. So I haven't seen one dated later than 1953. That doesn't mean they don't exist, but I haven't seen one dated later than 1953, and I haven't seen one dated earlier than 1951, so that means they were pretty much all made during the Korean War, which is kind of when the United States realized, since World War II, that maybe they should make some more mountain units, and they thought about it for a while, and they ended up not, because 10th Mountain wasn't reformed until after Vietnam, after that, so these sat around for a long time, but these are still in use actually with 10th Mountain. Now, they're not issued to every man, they're issued 2 per squad, and they're not really used for cooking anymore like they were intended to. They're mostly used to melt water, melt snow and turn it into water and purify water. But it's actually a super awesome mess kit for just everyday camping. It has a big, so if we rotate over here to the back, as you can see, the handles form the lock. So when you undo the handles like this, all right, you see that? When you undo the handles, it unlocks the whole thing, and you have a skillet. All right, the skillet is steel. So the pan here is steel. You can see the oil still in it there, which keeps it from rusting, I'm sure, in storage for a long time. So this is actually a very good kind of non-stick. Stuff actually will stick to it, but you don't need very much oil to make it non-stick while you're cooking with it. It's also very easy to clean. So, and this is quite large. You could fry eggs in this real fast. You could do a lot of cooking in this real fast over a fire really easily with how much surface area you have and how short it is and how thin the steel is. But it's thick enough to where the steel really won't deform with heat. So it's a very, very good quality skillet. You could get these for still relatively cheap. And then it has two big pots. So it has one big seamless pot here, and then an even larger one, which would be the outer shell, and they both have handles. So there you go. You have two very large pots then. You can use one for water, one for food, one for bathe. So normally I use this one for bathing and this one for cooking, because then your bathing one doesn't ever go inside of your cooking one, so you don't have to ever worry about like cross-contamination. As you can see, the cooking one fits very well into here. You could also use it as like a double boiler type thing, because it doesn't quite fit all the way to the bottom on this, so it has a little bit of room, not much, but you could use it to kind of pseudo steam food if you didn't want to have it on super direct heat. It's still going to be fairly direct, but it's not going to be as direct as having this over a fire or a cooker. But this one is normally what I would use for food, and the other one is used for bathing, and the reason I do that is because the bathing one doesn't touch the inside of the cooking one, and you can use this as storage then for food. So you can put food in here and then put the lid on, okay? So that way you can use it as transport for food. So, and it'll still be relatively quiet. I mean, as long as you pack the food tightly, it'll be quite quiet. So, which a lot of people, I don't think, come to expect this mess kit with being as quiet as it is, as you can see. So, like, there isn't a whole lot going on in there, depending on, you know, how you fold the handle and everything and how much you have in it. It's a very quiet, very sturdy, very robust, versatile mess kit. There isn't a lot to go wrong, and it is larger though, so that's the thing. It is quite large, but it's also very lightweight because the two aluminum pots actually make this, for the size it is, less than most European steel mess kits. Like, I have a Swedish steel mess kit. This actually weighs less than that Swedish steel mess kit, which is kind of the gold standard for mess kits. So I use that kind of as a comparison for most people. But this is a awesome mess kit. If you guys can find one, highly recommended. I've used one for years and have no complaints about it. It's incredibly versatile, and it is a storage unit within itself because it has so much space on the inside that if you fill this with stuff, it doesn't actually take up that much space in comparison to a lot of other mess kits. So it stores relatively easy, it cleans relatively easy, and it's large enough to do a meal or something for multiple people, which most mess kits aren't really quite large enough to do that. You can make a filling meal out of this for one really big meal for one person, or two pretty standard meals for two people. So really can't go wrong, and it's a cool piece of history within itself because they're made during the Korean War, but you really don't see or hear about these ever until way later in the like 70s and like even the 80s really. So you don't hear about these being used, but I know there's a lot of them up in Alaska, and there's some of them up at like Fort Drum, New York, but you don't see them anywhere else. So if you can pick one of these up, I highly recommend you pick one of these up. And if you have any questions, user experiences, additional information, anything like that, if you're in the military and you got to use one of these, I'd love to hear about your stories using these in the comments. And don't ask me where to get one. I'm not sure where to get one now. They're pretty much all dried up. But if you do see one come up, I highly recommend you pick one up. And thanks again to all you guys who donated. And once again, if you think I'm worth it, I would very much appreciate a donation. It all goes back into the channel. But until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.